What if you can manage your entire Homelab, TrueNAS, Proxmox, and every Linux box just by typing what you want in plain English and do it all from one place? Let me show you something I made called Homelab Hero. Homelab Hero turns a fresh LXC into an AI command center for your whole lab. One command installs Claude Code plus a web front end. It preloads it with context and troubleshooting skills for your platforms and wires up a credential broker so AI can operate your servers over SSH without ever seeing a single password or key. I'm your host, Evan. Let's install Homelab Hero. Homelab Hero uses Claude Code as an AI agent, and that's optional. You can use others, but I found that Opus by Anthropic is by far the best. It does not use API keys to access the agent, but rather uses a web front end called Cloud CLI, also called Claude Code UI. This gives Homelab Hero access to your Claude subscription without using API credits. You give it one small LXC that can reach everything else on your network. That LXC runs the web UI and the AI agent. And there's nothing really magic here. The web front end makes it so we don't lose our session in the event the LXC reboots and gives us remote access in a better way than something like /rc or /remote control would in Claude Code. We're using skills and memories to give our LLM the best possible context, so when we do sysadmin things to our servers, the agent isn't guessing at the correct way to troubleshoot or manage the environment. The only thing we need to bring is an LXC. We can do this on Proxmox or on TrueNAS. I'm going to run mine on Proxmox, and I'm going to spin up a new unprivileged container with Ubuntu 26.04, about 10 gigs of RAM, 4 CPUs, and 30 gigs of hard drive space, because that's about the resources I want to give it. You can change that based on whatever your home lab has. This also works in a VM if you'd rather not use an LXC, but I like using an LXC because it's a lot lighter. A brand new LXC usually only has a root user and doesn't even have a curl command installed yet, so we're going to use a one-line install from GitHub to do all that at once. From the Homelab Hero GitHub page, we're going to use the install one-time command and just copy it and jump over to our LXC. From the LXC, I'm going to paste the command and hit enter to run it. This is going to run for a little while, and as soon as it needs my input, it's going to stop and we'll pick it up there. The first stop we're going to make is at step 9 of 10, which is to sign into Claude. If you want to skip your sign in, you can just hit S and then hit enter, but I'm going to hit enter to sign in. At this point, I'm met with the standard Claude Code UI. I'm going to hit enter to pick dark mode. I'm going to sign in with my subscription, and after that, I'm going to come back so you guys don't see any of my private information on this video. Once I get past those main screens, it's going to tell me that the folder I'm in pre-approves 26 tool permissions. That's exactly what I want. These are all the tools that are built into Homelab Hero. I'm just going to click yes, I trust this folder. And I'm going to skip the tour, and I'm also going to skip the full screen render because I'm not going to need it. Now that I'm at the main entry line, I'm just going to type /exit to go back to the installer. Now we're on step 10 at the bottom, and it's going to scan my network to see what management endpoints it could find. It has found a bunch of servers. The thing you want to know about Homelab Hero is it only needs to manage the main Type 1 and Type 2 hypervisors. In other words, I don't need to add every single LXC, every single Docker container, any of that. I just need my Proxmox and TrueNAS servers. That's all I run here. If I had an Ubuntu server or Raspberry Pi or anything like that somewhere, I'd want to add those too. But the only thing I run in my home lab is TrueNAS and Proxmox. Now, I already know the IP addresses of all those things, and I can see the open ports and whatever Homelab Hero guesses some things are. My TrueNAS 26 beta is on 151. My main TrueNAS box is on 200, and Proxmox is on 201. It has correctly identified my Proxmox box because 8006 is kind of a dead giveaway. Let's start by adding row 20, which is my TrueNAS beta 2, as well as Proxmox. By default, it recognizes that 151 is TrueNAS, so I'm going to hit enter. It's asking me for the alias, and this is running TrueNAS beta 2, so I'm going to use beta 2. The username here is actually TrueNAS under admin, and this is kind of an important part. TrueNAS admin is not the actual root user here. In most other Linux environments, and anytime we do anything in the shell on TrueNAS, the first thing we do is elevate to root privileges because we basically can't do anything without it. So in order for Homelab Hero to really do anything, TrueNAS admin has to have root level permissions. In order to accomplish that on TrueNAS, jump over to your credentials and then go to users. And here where you see your TrueNAS admin user, go to edit in the top right. There's a few things you probably need to have turned on already to make this work. First off, you need to enable SSH access, and I'm going to allow it with the password, but you don't have to do that. You can use the key if you want to. Keep scrolling down to where it says sudo commands and click the little pencil. Here you see I've clicked allow all sudo commands and allow all sudo commands with no password. This bottom one is the important part because without that, you can't actually elevate the sudo to run almost anything on the TrueNAS box. If this makes you feel uncomfortable, you can go ahead and just use the root user instead of the TrueNAS admin user. If you want to do that, search for your root user by showing built-in users. Then on your root user, edit it and allow your SSH access. Allow it with password if you want to use password, then scroll all the way to the bottom for your sudo commands, and check both boxes and hit save. Back on Proxmox, I'm going to use my TrueNAS admin user because I've given it all commands for sudo. I'm going to hit enter. You can use key or password. I'm just going to let it use a key in this case. And I'm going to hit Y to allow it to copy the key to the TrueNAS box. I'm going to type yes to allow it to fingerprint, and then give it the password. After I hit enter, it's going to copy the key. It'll say that it's reachable, and now it's asking me for Proxmox. In this case, it already has recognized that Proxmox is my 201 host. That's correct. I'm going to give it the alias of Proxmox. Username is root. I'm going to use password in this case. This should show you guys the other way to do this instead of key. And now it's just going to ask me for my Proxmox password. After I've entered that, it's going to register it, and I'm going to go ahead and exit just by hitting no here. And now it's given me access to the web UI. I'm going to open this link in a new tab. Here I'm brought to the Cloud CLI web UI, where I'm just going to enter a username and a password for my admin user. Click create account, and then give your Git a name and a Git email. It doesn't have to be real. This is just for the internal Git. This isn't actually registering to anything else. So go ahead and click next. I've already authenticated with Claude Code, so I can complete the setup. I'm now dropped in the web UI for Claude Code. This is very important, this little comment box here. This shows all the commands. There should be at least 19 here. There are 6 built in, and as well as 13 skills that are going to allow Homelab Hero to manage the home lab with a great deal of accuracy. So let's first check the inventory. When I run that command, it's going to invoke a skill and check and see all the hosts that have been added, and has correctly discovered my beta 2 TrueNAS host, which I've added before. I can see all my pools here. I can see a couple apps and containers, and then it found Proxmox with some VM IDs and a bunch of LXCs. Let's give it another command. Let's say, check what Docker containers I have on TrueNAS. It correctly found out that I have password with sudo here, and that's exactly what I set it up for. It found 2 containers running, and of course, this is not everything because Dockage has a lot of stacks underneath it. Let's see the full list of containers I have for Dockage. I'll ask it what stacks are in Dockage. This way it knows what other containers could be run from TrueNAS. It has correctly found 19 stacks in my Mount Tank Stacks folder. Almost all are inactive, which is why they didn't show up before. When I scroll down, we can see all the inactive containers, and I can do some really interesting stuff here. Again, this is a complete home lab manager. So if I want, let's go ahead and start the R stack. Before it even started the stack, it checked to see what it defines and to see what services would be brought up. This is really interesting because it's already doing pre-check work to make sure that when I start something, it's not just going to crash immediately. The trick here is I specifically built it to crash when it starts just so I could test it for this video. So we're going to see how it actually handles the fact that these containers are not going to deploy cleanly. The stack came up, but it says both VPN tunnels are failing. And again, I built them to fail just so I can test it. The good news is that there's no IP leak happening. So it already kind of calms me by letting me know that even though the VPNs are down, the kill switch is holding. So now we've come to an inflection point. It has correctly started 11 containers in my R stack, but the VPN is down. It tells me what's going on here by giving me this quick little summary and then asks me how I want to proceed, and I get to click any of these options down here. I can diagnose the VPN, try a fix, leave it as is, or stop the stack. In this case, I know it's never going to work, so I'm just going to stop the stack by clicking this in the UI and submitting it. So now it says that the stack is fully stopped, everything is stopped and removed, and the network is cleaned up. The compose files are all untouched, and here's the quick recap. It says, do you want me to log this runbook entry so the VPN symptom and findings are captured for when you revisit it? So it gives you the option to add a memory. And that's another really cool aspect here. In the event it finds how to fix something, if you end up doing a fix, it'll automatically either add it to memory or ask you if it wants to be added to memory. This way, next time something happens, it doesn't have to redo all of its troubleshooting steps. There's already a playbook built into this that's going to let it know, hey, I saw this problem before and this was the fix. Just jump right to the answer. There's a lot of other cool things in this UI that gives us a little bit of visibility into what's going on. I can click the shell in the top right, and this brings me right into the Claude Code session if I want to go to the shell for any reason. I do have a built-in file browser here, so in the event that I want to change or move or upload anything, I have all those basic commands up here. There is a Git source control listed, but of course I'm not using the Git functionality of this just yet for this demonstration, but if you want to start using Git and committing things here, you can see all the commits and the branches to keep track of your code on disk. The settings are very straightforward. We can connect other agents up here if we want to. This is where we add our permissions and allowed tools. You can do MCP servers if you want, and most importantly, the skills tab is something you're going to want to look at. You can install skills if you want to here. So if you decide to build your own skills for your home lab, you can install them right here with the skills.md file just by clicking choose files and then selecting them and then clicking install skills. Now I've already built 26 skills into this, and there's a bunch of stuff here that is going to be used for sysadmin for a lot of home lab stuff. And you can see what each one of these skills does by scrolling through it. If you don't like them, you can go into the file browser and pull the skills out and just upload new ones if you want. You can do a lot of other stuff like change the appearance, change your font size, There's a lot of Git options here if you want to go ahead and change your Git configuration. There is API tokens available here in the event you need to get in and out of something using API keys. And a really cool thing, you can enable your voice. This way you can talk to it instead of typing. There is the Taskmaster here you can install from the command line. I haven't found the need to use it, but if you want to, you could just run this from the shell of Proxmox or TrueNAS if you installed it as a TrueNAS LXC or VM. You can enable the browser if you want. I haven't found the need for that, but again, it's possible. There are more plugins you can add here. I haven't found the need to add any of these, but if you want to, you can go ahead and add them. There are notifications if you want. And lastly, you can jump to the About page to see what version you're running. Anytime I want, I can start by clicking a new session. This way it resets my token usage, and I can do this every single time there's an issue or I just want to run a new fresh check. Let me talk about credential isolation because this is really important to understand how we're keeping things safe from LLMs. Homelab Hero doesn't use just one account that can do everything. It creates 3 users with 3 different jobs. The first is the operator account, and that's you. That's where you use to install things and register hosts. The second is a user called HH Agent, and this is a low privilege account that actually runs Claude and the web UI, and it's deliberately weak. Last, there's a user called HH Vault. This one owns every credential, every SSH key, every password, and it's locked down at mode 700 so nobody else can read it. The way this works is that Claude runs as HH Agent, and HH Agent literally cannot read anything in HH Vault. So when Claude needs to reach a host, it doesn't get a key handed to it. It does an HH Run command, which calls a small broker program. HH Run is basically a middleman that has one narrow rule that allows HH Agent to run that one broker and nothing else as HH Vault. The broker looks the host up in a registry that has no secrets in it, pulls the actual key or password from the vault, opens the connection, and hands Claude back only the output. The credentials never enter Claude's context and can't be leaked out of it. Even if the agent were completely hijacked or runs off the rails, the OS still will not let it read the vault. It won't let it run anything except the one broker. On top of that, the broker refuses to connect to loopback and refuses any host that isn't registered. To be clear, this is going to protect your credentials from ever reaching the AI, but it doesn't by itself restrict what Claude can run on the host that it's already allowed to reach, so be careful with your tool usage. Homelab Hero keeps itself current. There's a weekly cron job that runs Sunday mornings at 4 a.m., which updates your OS packages as well as Claude, restarts the command center, runs a health check, and logs the whole thing to a file you can read later if you want. Because an update can occasionally break something, that's why we have the HH Doctor command. The auto update runs the doctor for you after every update run. This way you're never left guessing whether or not things are going to come back up healthy. How does this compare to how most of us run LLMs on our server today? The one option is very classic, which is just a whole bunch of browser tabs and SSH sessions. Now there's a lot of different ways to do SSH sessions depending on what tool you're using, something like Termix, but either way you still have to have a bunch of sessions running. Option 2 is running something like Claude Code directly on bare metal. Well, that's basically what we're doing here. We're adding a lot more context, and by giving it a web UI, we have a lot more flexibility in what we can do. While I like running Claude Code on bare metal, I really wanted to give it a little more oomph, and the most important thing is I wanted to have a central place to manage many different Claude Code sessions on. Instead of me having to SSH into Proxmox and then TrueNAS, I have one area that allows it to see both simultaneously and understands the architecture of my home lab, which lets it make much smarter decisions without breaking things. And this is why Homelab Hero sits in a different spot. It's not a dashboard and it's not a replacement for your admin UIs. You still keep those. This is an operator you can delegate to across every platform in one consistent way. So I want to know, would you actually let an AI help you manage your home lab? And does the credential isolation change your answer? Let me know in the comments below. If this was helpful, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next video because I'm going to be building a lot on Homelab Hero in the future episodes. If you want to see content YouTube won't let us show you, head over to Patreon. There's a link in the video description below. I made another video earlier about running Claude Code. Go ahead and check it out. It's in the video description below. Thanks for watching, everybody. And as always, stay curious.